you there. Aaron is on the airplane here. Wait, I don't
What's
know.
happening?
Let me see if I'm in my ears here. So, how many of y'all actually expected me to be on here on time? A showing of hands. Hey, Jagger, how many me to be here on time? Did y'all get upgraded to first class? You look like you're in first class. Oh, you're not.
Nope. No,
Y'all
we're
on
not.
the-
It's
better than
well, hello, y'all. There's some basic folks walking in. Y'all enjoy your spot.
There's some basic folks walking in. That's fantastic. Who is it?
Where are they? Look. Dusty and
What's
Rebecca.
up? What's up?
Hey, she said, hey.
So
Good morning, everybody.
Story. Oh my God. Will these dogs please shut up? So funny story. Yesterday I was texting Rebecca and she said, Jagger's flying Delta, isn't he? And I said, yeah. Aaron avoids the Greyhound of the skies at all costs. Like at all costs. So when we can fly Delta, it's like going to Publix or going to the Circle K. That's kind of the way I would look at that. You can eat lunch from the pub. You can get yourself a pub sub, or you can get yourself a taquito off the roller.
Yep. You can have Circle K sushi. You can have Circle K sushi, or you could go someplace else and get really good sushi.
So I don't have anything up, so I'm not 100% sure that I think I can see him here. That's right. It's been a minute since I've done this, y'all. Sorry, I forgot I could see the comments right here. So we got Carrie here, we got Anna here, we got a ha 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 Facebook user here. We got good morning. The Facebook user needs to identify themselves, whoever it is that's laughing at me. Lynn's here, Kristen Rich is here. Where's Skipper at? Is Skipper not on here?
Hey, Alex. Alex, thank you for the top of the morning.
Yes, Alex got the top of the morning. Brooke Watkins, Michelle's here. They were like, yeah, after that group text last night. So I texted Jenny Martin and asked her if she wanted to meet for lunch today, that I was going to be down in Greensboro. And she said, I'm a little scared after the group text. I said, all good. You can mark yourself safe.
You're definitely you definitely have stuff to talk about today.
So what's so crazy?
Look at Laren.
It's amazing.
Good morning, Laren.
It is amazing how much difference a little bit of distance makes. Just a little bit of distance from a situation makes all the difference in the world.
A little perspective change, yep.
Just it really does. And you don't even know about this. And talking about perspective change, I'm gonna use this example. Y'all see these glasses I have on? I'm looking at the same computer screen. Okay. And I'm gonna just make note of that. I'm looking at the same computer screen through these lenses right here, but I'm gonna share something in a minute.
Morning, Jamal.
Because what this, I may have to mute you because you're gonna be greeting everybody on the airplane like, hey y'all, how your mom am? Hey,
I said
y'all.
hey to Jamal. Jamal just said good morning.
Oh, Jamal. I thought you were talking to all the people
Jamal.
that were in seats further that weren't in your same boarding group.
Sorry, Jamal.
What's up, Jamal? Hey, guess what? Congratulations, Jamal. We got some congratulations in order. Our boy had his first closing yesterday. So
congratulations, Jamal. Good job.
Hats off to Jamal. And he was looking dapper as always in his picture that he posted. Hadn't had my coffee yet, but it's all right. I'm just going to go with water for right now. So it's crazy because I was like, so last night Lainey sent me a message, and we have a family chat, and Lainey sent a message, and I thought, that's what I'm gonna use that video. You remember when y'all said I told y'all I needed to be able to prepare how to use video in this StreamYard thing. I thought I was gonna practice it last night, and then I didn't. I got sidetracked off on something else. And I didn't figure out how to do the video. And then I thought, this morning I can figure this out. And then I thought, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna listen to one of my devotions while I'm getting dressed this morning, because I wanted to come prepared and dressed, y'all. Because I thought I was gonna be the only one here, and if I'd known Aaron was gonna be here looking all good and whatnot, I could have come looking a little more ragged, because y'all have at least had someone that wasn't like burning your eyes. But anyways, so I open up, and what's amazing is how on time God always is. Okay. Always, 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 always right on time. Because y'all got some notes. That's why I was running a little bit late, because I literally went and got my notebook as I'm listening to my devotion this morning, because the message is right on time. How many of y'all feel that way? That like there's times that the message is right on time. And that's where my glasses come in, right? Like these glasses right here, this screen I'm looking at looks different. Now y'all gonna like this. Hang on a minute. Hang on a second. I need to hold on. Let me do this. Hold on. Y'all hang tight for a second. Do you like my new glasses? I didn't hear Aaron. Like, for real, do you like them? Because I think they're bad.
I do like them.
Like, they're awesome. Like, these are awesome. And guess what? This screen
you see
was completely different. I can't see shit right now because I don't have my glasses on. They're my reading glasses.
Sorry, Violet.
But they look good. Do they not look good? I can't even see how good I look because I'm blurry. I may have. I
see a damn thing.
I might should have put on top of my other glasses so I can actually see. But these are the ones that. How many of y'all got them glasses that have the little P on them? The little polar, looking like goose. No, they're a little bit different than gooses. They're dark, but they're not like just like gooses. These are actually like they got like a round bottom. It's like Harry Potter at the top.
She said
and
round
Goose
bottom.
At the bottom. They do. I got my round bottom glasses. So if I get
you have your boots with the fur.
I got my boots with the fur. So I figured if I'm gonna be at convention this week with Skipper and Millie and Angel Tucker. Who saw Angel Tucker's shoes? Her suitcase of shoes. I felt absolutely inadequate when I looked at Angel Tucker's suitcase of shoes. Y'all go back and look at that picture on her Facebook page because there's one little pair of shoes at the very top. They're like, they fold in half. They look like little ballet slippers and they're tucked up in the top right corner of her suitcase. And I was going to say to her, that looks like the only pair of shoes out of that entire group that I would even consider putting on my feet, like from a perspective of for more than just 10 seconds, just for somebody to snap it. Y'all need to snap the picture quick because these shoes are coming off. It's kind of like there's mornings, y'all, that I get dressed. Jamal, I'm sorry because I know you're on here and I'm not sure who else is on here. People that are on the Nation page. I'm just going to tell you, there are days that I start off my day with the best intentions of wearing a bra. Okay. I'm just going to go there and say it.
Yo.
I get out in the kitchen. I literally finish getting dressed. Aaron walks. Of course, Aaron's sitting there waiting on me to go because that's his normal position. Is I tell him to hurry up and go get dressed, and then he sits there and waits for 20 minutes till I'm done getting dressed before we leave. So he's sitting there. It's pretty much a normal thing. I walk out the kitchen within 45 seconds of walking in the kitchen. There are some days that bra, I'm already headed back to the bedroom taking the bra off. So it just ain't happened today.
Y'all, I'm telling you, we have walked out of a restaurant before. We've walked out of a restaurant before, and she's gotten 3 steps into the parking lot, and I hear elastic snapping. It's like, by the time we get in the car, it's in the floor.
I'm telling you,
how did you do that walking?
and not using any hands is even better.
Like, how did that even happen?
With no hands. So anyway, so that's my humor for the morning for a second. But going back to the perspective, just those two, the same exact thing I'm looking at, how it looks completely changes depending on what lens I'm using to look through. What lens you're looking through is completely different. Like, it can make what you're seeing completely different. Yesterday I put these on. I pulled into the middle school parking lot to get Zeke, and I was like, wow, they have painted the entire parking lot green. They've got new. I was like, dude, when did they do this? And I pulled the parking lot. The whole parking lot looked like it was a deep, very clean, all one shade of green with very vivid white parking lot lines. And then I take off those glasses to look because I'm like, man, that's crazy. And it's the exact same parking lot it was the day before. The same old, tired, concrete asphalt parking lot with lines that probably need to be repainted. Whoever said, OMG, those teal shoes, you got that right. I can't wait. I'm going to tell Angel that I'm going to have to post a picture of the teal shoes whenever we're there because somebody's got to. So, but the thing about the different perspectives is every situation we look at. I'm gonna mute Aaron because I hear that clicking. Sorry, y'all. That's my OCD kicking in. So every situation we look at can look different depending on what lens we are choosing to look through. Sometimes it's not even the only lens we can look through. Sometimes it's the lens we're choosing to look through. Like if I'm going and I'm going to be taking a cool picture, I'm not wearing these glasses. I'm gonna be wearing the glasses I just took off. Okay. I might not be able to see real well, and what I'm looking at might be blurry if it's up close. If it's on the distance, I can tell how many toenails somebody doesn't have painted. Okay. But if it's up close, I can't see anything. Um, so sometimes it's just that perspective. But going back to my devotion this morning was from Psalms 18:39. Okay. And Aaron kind of said something to you guys yesterday, and I heard him say it on the call that, and he asked you guys to lift us up in prayer. He said, me and Christy got some stuff coming at us right now. I mean, and it literally feels like it's coming from every direction, coming from directions we would have never expected it to come from. Okay. That it oh, sorry. That is what happens sometimes. And that's called, and that's why the title of what I put on here today was Detractors and Dream Killers. Okay. Because sometimes part of preparation for battle is preparing for the unexpected. Sometimes it's preparing for things that you hope never happen, but you got to be prepared in case they do. That's why it's called defensive driving, right? Have you ever heard the term defensive driving? Offensive driving is you worrying about making sure you're doing all the right things. Defensive driving is you being aware and alert of your surroundings in case somebody else isn't doing the right thing. You don't want to go around in life looking for everyone else to do the wrong thing, but you got to be prepared if they do. You got to be able to withstand the punch if they do. You got to be wearing your
So
seatbelt. Go ahead.
so one thing I would say, you expect the best, but you prepare for the worst. That's always what
Mm,
we did when we would train that way. You expect the best, but you prepare for the worst. You've got to prepare, because I promise you that when it starts to go, the the plan's all wonderful till you hit the mouth. The
right.
plan's
It's
fantastic
everything.
till someone punches you
Everything's
in the
good
mouth.
until it's not. Everything's good until it's not. Right. So, so this week, and what about the times? What about the times when you condition? Let's talk about how when we condition and we prepare for something. Aaron talks about this all the time. Like we want you guys to be like if you build your stamina. We build our stamina up in preparation for things. How long does it take someone to prepare to run a freaking marathon? First of all, who wants to run a marathon? Who wants to get like not to for TMI for the people that are here, but I was literally at Top Golf one night and I walked up on a conversation about a man talking about his nipples being raw and bleeding. Who wants to do something that's gonna go? I mean, for real though, y'all. Seriously. I mean, let's just be for real for a second. Who wants to do that crap? Like, how do you want to put yourself in a situation that there's a chance that you're woo from a shirt? You went like he
Bras and nipples, two things you'll never hear me talking about in a call that I do. It only took one call for Christy to bring in bras and nipples.
I'm serious. I'm serious. Cynthia, I'm telling you, you should have got here sooner. Because I'm just gonna tell you right now, whenever I was like, literally, and he talks about having to put no, and I didn't hit the gummies. He talked this guy was talking about that you have to like there's these things that you can put in your shirts to make sure that the cloth on your shirt doesn't rub them. And I'm like, who even wants to do that? Like, I don't want to do anything that's going to cause that. So, anyways, I digress. So, but you got to prepare for things. And sometimes, even the things that you think you're prepared for, you're not. Because that conversation came up because he was talking about that was the first marathon he ever ran. I'm concerned about the devotional. That wasn't in the devotional. I'm telling you that was a life experience. Y'all know I like to mix this stuff in. I like to talk about life experiences in with the word of God, and it's I can't be reading these comments, y'all, because I mean, but even when we prepare for stuff, sometimes we're not really nearly as prepared as we think we are, right? Like that guy was talking about the first marathon he ever ran, and that was a lesson that he will never forget. I can promise you that is one of those lessons that sticks with you. Okay, when yeah, it would stick with me. I can tell you that much. Because I thought, did you fall? Is that what happened? You fell and like you weren't wearing a shirt when you were running this marathon, and like you got no. It was just he was just running the marathon, and that's what happened. So, anyways, again, I know people love it. Sherry Kovac, if you're on this call, her and her husband run marathons. And it was not Sherry Kovac's husband that told me that story, by the way. It was somebody years ago that told me that story. But the devotion this morning was Psalms 18:39. And this was what it said in the NIV. It says, "You armed me with strength for battle. You humbled my adversaries before me." What about when your adversaries aren't who you were expecting them to be? How many of us go into the day knowing who our adversaries are? I mean, just by definition, an adversary is somebody who you know is against you. Like, well, no, who is against you. And typically, we think we know who's against us, right? We know who that is. What about, let me tell you how you guys ever hear? I mean, and I know some of y'all hear this, and I'm trying to think of the way to put it. Satan attacks you even in when you are equipped with the full armor of God. Satan will attack you in a crack. All he's got to find is a crack. And that's what he will start working on. Okay. And sometimes that crack is in our armor. Sometimes that one little chink in the armor, he starts working on and working on and working on. Was it Brooke that was talking about? Who was it that was talking about somebody had a loose tooth this week? And as soon, oh girl, Lynn, retweet. I said that to Aaron last night because that is something I live by. When people show you who they really are, you believe them. Okay. I had a card with my son last night. You can only protect someone from themselves for so long. At some point, you have to take your hands off of it and allow them to just do what they're going to do. And you can't keep trying to protect them from themselves. You can't sacrifice yourself to protect or the boat that you're in and the people that you have been tasked to protect, your children, our agents, other people who, you can't allow a drowning person. More drownings happen because someone is going out there. Even the strongest swimmers can be drowned by someone who they are trying to save. If somebody's out there and they swim out, that's why when you see a lifeguard, I don't care how strong a swimmer they are, they always have some sort of a flotation device on them because they know they have prepared for the unexpected. They have prepared for the person that they are going out to help, and they know they're going out to help them, and they think they've assessed the situation. They think they're prepared for this, but that person can still pull them both under. And sometimes you gotta be willing to cut that cord so that they don't sink, they don't topple the entire boat and all the contents in it. For those of y'all that watched Yellowstone, if anybody watched Yellowstone, go ahead.
I was just saying something real quick because I'm fixing to shut me down. When I say this about perspective, because I think this is an important point to hear. I had this conversation with someone yesterday, and I said, "You're going to see exactly what you're looking for." And you said this earlier,
Yep.
Christy, that your perspective is created from those filters, those things that we talk about all the time, that screen door that you look through. That's your perspective. That's how you see the world. And many of us can look at the same situation, and if we choose to look for something negative, we can find the negative in that situation, while somebody else can look at that same situation and see the positive aspect of that situation and
That's
work
right.
through it. So,
That's right.
just because you see a buddy of mine years and years and years ago said, every situation is neutral and how you react to it's positive or negative. But that
Yep.
has to do with perspective as well. The same situation can be looked at a lot of different angles. And so if you're looking for something negative, you'll find something negative with anything. I mean, you can look at something negative about this phone call this morning, this call. You can, if you choose to look for something negative, you could find something to complain about and say
Yep.
whatever you want to build your narrative and your complaining narrative and your negative attitude. You can look at
Yep.
this same call, the same words, the same situation with a positive mindset and think it's fantastic. And so perspective is one of those things that creates the path, creates the conduit, creates the filter, the vision, the lens, like Christy used the analogy of, that you look through to see the situation. And many times, and this one I'm gonna jump off here, many times and this is so true, the enemy uses adversaries can come out of nowhere because the enemy will use small little cracks, small little situations, small little things to start to divide, because
That's right.
that's the way you beat that's the way you beat large powerful companies, large powerful nations, large powerful people, is you divide them. So I gotta go. Me and Tolly gotta go. So
All right.
bye, y'all.
All right. Be safe. Love you. Let me know. In.
Love you.
So my devotion goes on to talk about, so that Psalms 18:39, because again, I'm gonna read it again. You armed me with strength for battle. You humbled my adversaries before me. What about when you don't realize who those adversaries are? What about the people that Satan uses? You as a person, when Satan uses an attack strategy, he's going to use areas that aren't even necessarily your weaknesses. They are areas, sometimes it's your areas of strength. Sometimes it's for a mom. Sometimes somebody's a mom who is a wonderful mother and protects her children. Sometimes Satan's gonna go after those kids. They're, he don't go after the mom, he goes after the kids. Okay. So but he's trying to take the mom down, but he's going after the kids. He's trying to take that family down, but he's using the kids to do it. So this was something else that was said in Matthew 10:34, because this ties in. Jesus, and Jesus says in Matthew 10:34, do not think that I came to bring peace. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Woo! Y'all, that's a mic drop right there. Do not think that I came to bring peace. Jesus, the perfect one, blameless, unblemished, 33 years, perfect life, crucified on a cross by people who found fault with everything that he did. There was nothing that he did that someone wasn't looking for fault in something that he was doing. They took a situation and they spun it to meet their narrative. They took a situation and depending on what lens they were looking through, maybe it was self-preservation. Maybe it was all the righteous people that didn't like that he only wore flip-flops into the synagogue. They didn't like that. They thought he should be dressed up. They didn't like the fact that he flipped tables. They didn't like the fact that he stopped the money changers. They didn't like that. Okay. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. He has equipped us for this battle. He has equipped us for whatever it is that we're facing today. One of the things that my devotion did talk about, which wasn't nipples, by the way, pep talks, encouraging words. How many of y'all know what my morning song is? How many of y'all know what song I wake up to every single morning of my life? And sometimes I just want to tell Toby Mac to shut up because I ain't ready to speak it. It's Speak Life. Speak Life by Toby Mac is my alarm clock. That is what I wake up to every single morning. That's right, Carrie. Every single morning, I wake up to that. This morning, I was telling Toby, do you mind just for a minute? Can you snooze? Can you stop? Okay. That's what my song is, because that's my morning reminder that sometimes you got to get up and you got to speak life. Sometimes you got to speak life into yourself. Sometimes that song wakes me up in the morning speaking life into me. And I use that so that I can then fill myself up to come out and speak life into others, to be that person. I made a phone call 2 days ago to an agent in our company and had a conversation, because there's times that there are people that, yes, Aaron and I do lift you guys up and we want to be here to help you guys. And you know what? There's sometimes that I make phone calls to y'all and you lift us up. There's sometimes that conversations, it's just a random, and maybe it's just a call to say, I'm just doing a check-in with you. I'm just doing a temperature check with you to see how things are going. And it turns into the most encouraging conversation and exactly what I needed that day. Because guess what? God has equipped us and armed us with strength. And sometimes strength isn't due to our own conditioning. Sometimes strength isn't something that we do on our own. Sometimes that strength that He's arming us with is a person He's put in our life that gives us that strength. Aaron talks about holding the arms up, right? And holding arms up to whenever Moses couldn't hold his own arms up, that Aaron would come behind him and hold his arms up for him. Okay. Because that was when the people responded. Sometimes it takes somebody coming in behind us and giving us a little bit of strength, giving us those words of encouragement, giving us just what we need to. And sometimes it's somebody sharing with us an impact that we have made on their life that gives us that boost to just keep going, right? Aaron talks about that the story of the guy in, I'm trying to think what the name of the movie is, but he says to himself, 18 more inches. I focus on 18 inches at a time. That's what I focus on. I focus on crawling 18 inches at a time. And you know what, Lynn, you're right. Iron does sharpen iron, but sometimes it's not even the iron that sharpens us. Sometimes it's not even another piece of iron that gives us that strength. Sometimes it's just somebody being willing to open up and show their appreciation for for something that you've done completely out of the blue. How many times do you get blessed by a handwritten note card that you go to your mailbox and there's a handwritten note card from Alex Martin sitting in there? Y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all what, right now, that blesses me. When I get those, woo, blesses me. Woo, I'm pulling an Aaron right now. Sometimes our battles are a gift from God to save us from something else. You know what? How many times have we heard the story? Lone Survivor's the name of that. That's right. How many times have we heard the story about people the morning of 9/11 that their kid was sick, their dog threw up on their shoe, so they had to go back in the house. They got stuck in traffic. They had a flat tire. They had to stop and grab a coffee because their coffee maker broke, and they weren't in the towers when the plane hit. How many times, and how many times how many times do I look at a situation now and I say, thank you, Lord, for whatever it is that you're protecting me from. Thank you for whatever it is that you're protecting me from by sending me the situation that I'm dealing with right now. Because we don't know what we've been protected from. We don't know. I put in there, what's in your go bag? What's missing from your go bag? What is it that we think we're so prepared for something? And going back to the marathon analogy, right? Like, again, I'm totally going off of a hearsay on this situation because I've never even mentally prepared for the idea of running a marathon, much less actually taking action to take preparation to get prepared for it. But how many people, Nick Liebert, God, he's so funny. He was telling a story when we were in Boston last month about when because so apparently to get invited to go into the Boston Marathon, you have to you have to have completed certain marathons to even qualify for the Boston Marathon under a certain time. This is hearsay. This is just what I listen to things and I learn these things. So he was telling our tour guide in Boston who was also a marathon runner, about the marathons he's run. And he says, well, what about this one? He says, well, I finished it, but I didn't finish it in enough time. He said, really? He said, yeah. It's kind of a shitty story. Sorry, Violet. But apparently he was running, and anyways, he didn't finish it in the allotted. I think y'all can kind of see where I'm going there. He didn't finish it in the allotted time, and it did not have to do with his nipples being rubbed raw. It had to do with he had to take a break, and it was anyways. So moving on. Sometimes even the most prepared, we think we're so prepared for something, and we know that these things can come up, but we're not expected for just how bad it can be. We're not expected for just how much it can derail the direction we're going. Detractors and dream killers seek to interrupt God's intended purpose of his people. Y'all, that is powerful. When we can look at the detractions, the distractions, a detractor is something that truly takes away from it. A distraction is more temporary, okay? An interruption interrupts you, but you're kind of still on the same path. Distraction will almost kind of lead you. A detractor almost takes you away from it, okay? To take away from God's intended purpose for his people, okay? How many of you believe right now you are exactly where you are supposed to be? And this is I can't really see y'all, like who's saying what, but I want you to think about that. If you don't think that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, there is only one person that can change that. Okay. We can listen. We can listen to others. I think we have to be super careful, not just about the words. Aaron talks about this all the time. The words we speak to ourselves, the things that we allow ourselves to say to ourselves. We have to capture our thoughts. We also have to be careful of the words that people around us are saying. We have to be careful of the things. Somebody was telling me yesterday, my friend Kim Lang was talking about how they moved to Evans, Georgia. And she was talking about how cool they do Halloween down there and how they do all sorts and I'm totally fine with whoever wants to celebrate whatever holidays or don't celebrate whatever holidays they want to celebrate. That's just on them. That's kind of like people that like to drink coffee and people that don't like to drink coffee. Every situation is what you make of it. Every situation is how you view it. The situations are neutral. Your decision to be involved in it or not be involved in it, drink the coffee or don't drink the coffee, drink the alcohol, don't drink the alcohol. It's all your decision. And I think that it's all okay under the right circumstances because I mean Jesus turned the water into wine, so it's not like that's not allowed. So that but I do not personally like to celebrate Halloween. Like I didn't even care about it being in my divorce papers because I don't care about Halloween. I don't do it. We don't do that. I did when my two older kids were younger, and then something really just kind of got to me about not allowing that idea, that concept into my spirit. And it's not that and it was just something I just didn't want to. I'm all about. I've already got some fall harvest and pumpkins and some Indian corn and I'm all. I love Thanksgiving. Y'all is my favorite holiday of the year. I will skip straight from Labor Day to Thanksgiving just like that. Okay, I'm totally fine not having my Christmas tree up yet because my husband won't let me have it up. But if he would let me have it up, I'm fine with it because Thanksgiving is honestly my favorite, probably my favorite holiday of the year. I love the season of Christmas. I love the lights and the trees and all the Christmas music and all that fun stuff and the celebration of the birth of Jesus. But I love Thanksgiving because it is a period of gratefulness. It is a period of looking at what we've got, what we've been blessed for, and being grateful for it. And and the thing that I took away from this situation and it's not just one situation, like it's been something that's been ongoing. Today I'm going somewhere that is addressing a situation that's been going on for a year. No, yeah, probably a year, better than a year. Wait, at least a year, probably a year and a half now, if we're being honest. Yeah, because it was 2021. Over a year, I've been dealing with this situation, and I'm going to a courthouse today to get in front of a judge about a situation that I stood up for what was right. Okay. And sometimes people will walk away because they're like, you know what? Is it even worth the effort? Because something, and I didn't write it down, but one thing that my devotion said this morning was Christianity is not always about keeping the peace. Sometimes it's about fighting for what's right. Sometimes it's about standing up and saying no more. It's not always about keeping the peace. And that's what Matthew 10:34 told me in that devotion this morning. Remind me of, do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace. I came to bring a sword. Jesus came to equip us for the battle. Because anybody who thinks that running a marathon, how many miles is a marathon? For those you crazy people on here that have run a marathon, if anybody on here is crazy and has ever run a marathon or even knows, because I lost it at my nipples got rubbed raw. That was all I need to know about marathons. I didn't care about anything else. I didn't care about learning anything else. I didn't care. I don't pay attention to it. I've heard those little snippets of information that comes as a result of running a marathon. I didn't need to know how long it was. It was too long, is what I know. Too long. Too freaking long if that's gonna happen to a man and he's got to get 26.2 miles. Dude, I just joined a challenge for St. Jude's to walk my dog 30 miles in 30 days. Can you imagine running 26.2 miles in one sitting? Like in one approach? Uh-uh. No, thank you. I will sit right here. I'll eat Optavia the rest of my life before I will run 26.2 miles in one sitting. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a sitting, would it? One turn. What does the school call it? One one occurrence. I will not run 26.2 miles in one occurrence. Ain't happening. So, but the detractors, the dream killers, they're part of it, y'all. They're part of what of this daily battle. They're part of what we do every single day. And if we're out there, Carrie made a comment yesterday and she said, I am nothing but what'd you call it? Sunshine and unicorns? Y'all, Carrie's a unicorn. I don't give her that. But our life is not always sunshine and unicorns. It is not. It is it is being prepared for the unexpected. Sometimes just being prepared for things for the concept and the idea that things are not going to go the way that we expected them to be, even when we are prepared and you see it coming. How many times have you seen someone at the beach, standing at the beach, waiting for the waves to come in and crash? Right, they're diving into them, or they're doing something, or maybe they're boogie boarding. Okay, and I mean I've got it on video some where you're in the ocean. You've got the boogie board. The wave comes. You're watching it from way out. I mean, you saw it coming. You knew it was coming. You had your eye on that very particular wave, and you knew just by the way you saw it breaking out there that it was going to be a good one to ride the boogie board all the way into the shoreline, all the way in on that one wave. And when that wave comes up, it swelled up a little bit bigger than you thought it was going to be. And by the time that thing beat your tail, by the time you started riding it, the cord ripped off your boogie board. Your boogie board is out there hitting some kid that's just like a newborn on the side, that's like 9 months old, barely sitting up with their mom, and the boogie board flies and it knocks the kid out. And you're getting up. You got sand in your bathing suit. You're spitting it out. You were totally unprepared for that wave. You watched it. You knew it was coming. You had the equipment. You thought you were ready. You thought you were ready, and you weren't ready. Like Tennessee, Alabama thought they they didn't prepare enough for Tennessee last weekend. Alabama, sometimes people who get so big and in their success is almost automatic to them that they don't think they have to adequately prepare. And people, a lot of people were like, yeah, Tennessee thinks they were like, come on, Alabama, bring it on, bring it on. Everybody's like, yeah, they think they're ready. They ain't ready. When they were ready, they were ready. Alabama wasn't ready. Not and you know what? And sometimes you gotta let your team lose it. You gotta let people you care about lose a battle. Do you think that if Nick Saban, do you think Nick Saban wasn't prepared for Tennessee? I don't. I think that Nick Saban knew exactly how he was coaching that game because Nick Saban doesn't make those kind of mistakes. Okay, sometimes you got to let your people get knocked down just a little bit because he might have seen. Sometimes you got to lose a battle to win the war. Okay, if y'all think that the Alabama Crimson Tide will not be in the top four at the end of the season, you got another thing coming. If y'all think that Tennessee just knocked them out of the final contention for the national championship, another thing coming because they're not out of contention yet. They are Alabama, and they rise from adversity. And talk Coach Burt, and I'm glad I just said that because Coach Burt talks about prey drive activators, and he talks about what are the things that activate prey drive. If anybody who's in here that's doing Coach Burt right now, jump in here and say, what are your activators of prey drive? What is Coach Burt? Anybody who's in here on Coach Burt, what are the things that Coach Burt says are the activators of prey drive? Somebody jump in here and put that on here. What are the activators of prey drive? I'm gonna give y'all a second to put it on here. I'm gonna get one of Coach Burt's book and give it to you for the first person that puts all of them because I think he's got 3 or 4 of them, 5 of them. What is it that he does? How many does he have? What are his activators of prey drive? Fear, embarrassment. Okay, what is because he talks about what does prey drive do? What does prey drive do? What is it that prey drive does? Prey drive stimulates our inherent, what God gave us, our God-given ability to escape from fear, from like fear activates prey drive. Embarrassment activates prey drive. What are the other things that uncertainty? I'm trying to find my notes because I've actually got them in here, I'm sure. Why do I not know all of his activators of prey drive? I hope Coach Burt's not watching this because I'll be in trouble. But he talks about what Pray Drive does is that it stirs something, it wakes something up inside of us that gets us going. It's that allows you to make the kill, right? To survive. It is a Pray Drive is a survival mechanism, okay? But something else that Pray Drive does, when that Pray Drive is activated, it gives us such clarity sometimes in a situation. It gives us such clarity in a situation that we would not have had otherwise. Okay? Because when that prey drive is activated and the animal is on the hunt, right? And it's for the when you talk about a hawkeye or you talk about having an eagle's perspective, like the view of an eagle, their vision is so clear, and that's why they're called a bird of prey. Okay, their vision is so clear, and sometimes it takes a situation, embarrassment, fear, devastation, loss, fear of loss, those kinds of things to give us clear vision. Sometimes that's what it takes. And sometimes that prey drive being activated, one of the benefits of your prey drive being activated gives you clear vision. So I literally 2 nights ago sat up, and I can't show it to y'all. I have about 120 of them. And for anyone who's interested, I am more than happy to sit down and have this conversation with you guys and show you exactly what I do. I have 120 names of licensed agents that have passed their real estate exam in the past 60 days that have never activated their real estate license. Never activated it. Went through the process, studied the class, took the exam, sat for that hard as heck state exam that I won't name any names, but some people in our company, it took them 5 times to pass it. There's only 4 versions of the test. I think she finally passed it when she finally saw a version that she'd already seen before. There's only 4 versions of the state exam. So at some point, you're going to pass that test because you're retaking the same test. You're like, finally, questions I've seen before, because I knew which questions I missed the last time. I knew when I failed the test, I knew exactly which questions so I went back and I prepared to answer those questions properly, right? So sometimes that fear, that embarrassment, that devastation, that loss gives us clear focus. I was prepared. Something told me night before last to sit down and pull names. I have a list of 120 names of actively, no, they're inactive, but they have an actual real estate license. They have passed the exam and have never, ever activated their license. Why do you think that is? Why do you think someone goes through all of that effort to do it? Jenny Cruz, you're on this call. Tell me why you go through the course. Someone like Jenny Cruz, who has actually done this, and sometimes it's a very valid reason. Okay, they don't feel adequately prepared. They don't, if I could go through the different personality styles of somebody who passed their real estate exam 6 weeks ago and has yet to activate their license, there's probably a handful of reasons why. One, they don't feel prepared. They don't know what broker they want to go to. They don't want to make a wrong decision. The fear of the unknown. There's uncertainty involved in this. So they don't want to do the wrong thing. They don't want to go somewhere and then make a decision and change. That one of them that I saw that has gotten their license, right? Fear of the unknown. Y'all, I told you, Jenny Cruz asked me a question before she joined us. She sent me a list of a bunch of questions, but she sent 2 very important questions to me. What's the culture like in the office? And how well do the people in the office get along with one another? Y'all, that is so important. We built our entire company around culture. It is around the culture of this company. That is what makes Exit Realty Lake Country different, is our culture. That we do real estate different. Real estate is our platform, but what we're really doing is we're impacting lives. We're helping people move their ball down the field. Okay? We are literally changing lives every day, even with this phone call. There are 16 people that are watching this call right now. Okay? 9 of you have thought something that I said was funny. All right? Or you liked it or you loved it. Okay? 16 people, now 15. I just lost one. They're like, I don't want to put on the spot. They left. I'm not going to call anybody out. If those 16 people that we were up to, I think 19 was the highest number I've seen up there today of people that were currently watching this. If those 19 people heard something today that they're going to go out and is going to impact a conversation they have with someone else that impacts that person, we've now impacted 38 people today. Okay. And then if that person, those people say something to somebody that impacts their lives, then we've now impacted 76 people today. Okay. All we can do is get out there and do the best we know how to do. There is going to be unknown. Allowing fear to stop you from going into the unknown is a completely different situation. We can prepare all we want for a marathon. If nobody told you about the little things that you can put inside your shirt or put on you so your shirt doesn't rub you, you're going to have things come up that you never thought about. Because I can promise you, that's not one of the things I'd have thought about if I was preparing for a marathon. I would have thought about the shoes I was wearing. I'd have thought about the kind of shorts that I was going to wear. I would have thought about a lot of things. Am I going to have enough water? Am I going to get a cramp? All the things I would have thought about. That situation is not one of the things I would have ever thought about unless someone who's done it before had told me about it. That's what we do. That's how we have built this company is we are taking people that have that fear of the unknown and we are holding your hand and we are going forward with you and saying, look, it's not really that scary. I know it looks scary, but I promise you it's not. It's not that scary. I can tell you right now, Zeke Chitwood, we had him at Dollywood a couple years ago. He was so mad at me because I made him get one of my mom of the year moments has been when I made Zeke, when he was about 3, ride Tower of Terror at MGM Studios at Disney. The picture that they captured, that, like, you know how they take the snapshot of the picture as it's dropping and everyone, like, you literally feel like you're dying at that very moment. I have that picture, and when I saw the picture, it hit me. Like, I didn't think much about it till I saw the picture, and I see the look of fear in my son's eyes, and I think to myself, "Oh my God, I cannot believe that I did that to him." Sometimes the things that we do, we don't mean to hurt the people. We don't mean to scare the people. We don't mean to have an impact. Zeke hates roller coasters now. He absolutely despises them. And I may have put that in his spirit because I was like, "It's fine, come on." And he was like, "Yeah, we'll go. I'm good with it." He went. He won't ever go on it again. I can promise you that. And I won't ever make him go on it again. And anybody who ever says they don't want to do that again, I will not make him do it because I have a picture that shows the fear in my son's eyes that he thought he was literally going to die on that ride. And the picture captured it for me. And I was like, wow. So sometimes we don't put a whole lot of thought into how our actions or a decision we make impact somebody else. And that's okay because I didn't make that decision with the intention of hurting Zeke. I didn't make that decision with the intention of I thought he was going to enjoy it. Everybody else enjoyed it. Some people were laughing, people holding their arms up, some people are like, yeah, they're not even holding on. Some people are like crouched down. I mean, everybody responds differently to thinking that you're about to die. Okay. Some people are, you've seen these pictures of those women like YOLO, like they're slinging their bras as they're going down. Everyone sees a situation differently. Sometimes it's unexpected, sometimes it's expected, but it wasn't expected in quite the manner that it actually unfolded. And we thought we were prepared, but we weren't. We all have to deal with that ourselves. We have to face that fear. There's a lady, her name is Tia Wood, and Brooke, I'm glad that you can join. You can be in the Mom of the Year club with me. That ranks second to me making Logan walk around the Clemson game with a broken leg and telling him to shake it off. To walk, I think I told him to walk it off, and quit being such a because you're a football player. If you don't like being hurt and you don't like getting tackled, then play golf. Is what I said to I'll call the coach. You can quit the team tomorrow, but I'm not going to listen to this. He had a broken leg. Oops. I mean, in hindsight, you learn. He lived through it. He is better today because of it. Okay. He will never make that parenting mistake with Halson. I can tell you that much. But we sometimes we just aren't prepared for that. And it's okay to not be prepared. But what's important is that we put ourselves in situations that we surround ourselves with people who can help us through that, who can help us get through that piece of that fear, making that phone call. the video that, and I don't want to go without saying this because I am going to end this because I have not heard very many people. My Zeke's not going because he literally ate something at school yesterday that has not fit well with him at all. He said the chicken was pink, and again, I was like, just eat it, Zeke. It's fine. Pink chicken's fine. No, apparently not pink chicken at Hart County Middle School because he's been sick from it. So her video that Lainey sent last night was talking about prospecting and the view that people have about prospecting. And some people will literally freeze in fear of making a phone call prospecting. That Alex Martin used to want to throw up. She would rather stick sand spurs in her eyes than call people that she did not think wanted to talk to her. Like, what if they hang up on me? Well, then that phone call's over. Move on to the next one, right? This guy that talked, and I'm going to share the video on the agent page. I'll share it on the Exit to Lake Country Nation page for those of you that want to see that. It talks about you feel differently. Like if somebody rings the doorbell at your house and you don't know who they are, you might be a little leery of answer. I do it myself. If somebody, we have Ring cameras now, we can see who's there. If somebody rings the doorbell and you don't know who they are, there's a good chance you're not answering the door. You might be in your bathroom hitting the speakers, talking to them, going, I'm not home. What are you here for? And you find out who they are. And then you're like, oh, okay. And then you walk to the front door. I really was home, but I was telling you I went home because I didn't know who you were. But then if somebody walks up and you might not know the person there, but then you realize that the other person that's walking up to the doorstep that also got out of the car with them is somebody you do know. Okay. It's a little warmer. It's a little less intimidating, right? I would call that a warm lead. Okay. That's the difference between the guy that walks up and rings the door, but you have no clue who they are. You don't know what they're up to. You don't know what their intentions are. Then you got the person who you don't know who they are at first, but then you realize that they're with somebody that you do know. So you're more comfortable. So you open the door and you're more comfortable because there's an introduction that can be made. That's a little warmer. Then you got the person that was like, you hadn't seen them in a long time, but you know exactly who they are. Let me take that. I skipped one. Let's just say somebody you see him all the time. It's Logan that walks up. Hey, buddy, how are you? I love you. Come on in. Where's the baby? Come in. You get him situated. Everything's fine. Then somebody shows up and opens the door that I wasn't expecting to see, and it's such a great surprise to see them. And you get all excited. And you hug their neck, right? And you're super excited about it. Now you're excited about this conversation. Okay, that's the difference between the way we view prospecting with people. That's how Brian Buffini separates out and talks about the different categories you put people in, okay, and how comfortable you are. Like if you've talked to somebody about real estate, they're not a stranger. If you've actually done a deal in real estate with somebody, they're also not a stranger, and they're somebody who, depending on how the deal went, it could be a positive or a negative, right? You could either never want to talk to them again or always want to talk to them again. Then you got the people that have referred somebody to you. Then you've got your advocates, okay? Those are the ones that you're excited about, all right? Those are the ones that make it easy. Why do you think they became an advocate? Why do you think someone goes from being a complete stranger to an advocate for you? What do you think happens in between when they're a complete stranger and then they're an advocate? I want one word. Somebody tell me. What do you think it is that happens in between being a stranger and becoming an advocate? I wish I had the timer. I know y'all are still here because I can see you on my page. Somebody just make a guess. It starts with an R or a C. It could be a C or an R. It's a relationship. Trust. Trust is it. Connection. Bailey, you're right. A connection. That was the C word I was talking about. Relationship. Lynn, you said it. Bailey and Lynn both said it. Those were the two words I was thinking. A relationship and a connection. That is the only thing that convert somebody from being a stranger to an advocate is the relationship. When COVID started, we got our agents on a call. Michelle Tilson, you're still here. Michelle Tilson went out and did what we told her to do. She wasn't scared at all when she called the person. She was a whole lot more scared when she got off the phone call than she was when she got on the phone call. When she picked up the phone to call them, because you know what she was doing? She was calling somebody who she knew. She was calling somebody who she trusted to take care of Violet. She was calling Violet's former babysitter to check on her family, see how they're doing. That's what you do. You make the connections and the business follows. You build the relationships and the business follows. Okay. Even if it's somebody you don't like, you've at least learned that you don't want to talk to them again. Okay. But they're not scary anymore, because what's scary is when you think you're picking up a water hose, a garden hose, and it's a freaking snake. That's what's scary. When you think it's a garden hose that you would use to water your garden and to water your yard and grow flowers and benefit, and you pick it up and it's a freaking snake. Okay. That's what's scary. So part of preparing for battle, and I'm going to wrap this up, I'm going to land this plane here. Part of preparing for battle is having the discernment to know the difference between an adversary and an advocate. And sometimes it's somebody who you think is an advocate, but they're really not. They're actually an adversary disguised as an advocate. Okay. They will say exactly what they think you want to hear when they're in front of you. That's what they do. It's how they do it. And then when you're not there, you walk away and they're talking about you and they're bashing you. That's not an advocate. That is an adversary. But sometimes it's an adversary that we don't realize is an adversary. Okay. Sometimes they're drilling holes in the bottom of your boat and you don't know it. And when somebody who's also in that boat walks up to the captain and says, Captain, so and so is drilling a freaking hole in the bottom of the boat. You might want to do something about this. And you're like, is the captain supposed to go, they're not drilling a hole in the boat. It just looks like they're drilling a hole in the boat. That's not really what they're doing until that side of the boat starts listing. Y'all know what listing is on a boat? It's when it started like this and it's like this. And then it's like this. And then when it gets to a certain point, everybody in the boat topples over. If somebody doesn't go, we went to put our boat in Lake Hartwell last week. Week before last had been at the not Anchors Marina, NNC Marine forever. It'd been done since August, and we haven't had time to go pick it up. That's how busy we've been. We hadn't even had time to go pick up the freaking boat and put it in the water to enjoy the lake that's behind our house. Aaron goes to put it in the boat, and the sign of a leader and a protector is to make sure that they check, even when you think it's supposed to be in place. You check to make sure the things that are supposed to be in place are in place. I check to make sure that I tell my boys every morning, even though it may sound redundant, I love you, put on your seatbelt. I love you, put on your seatbelt. I love you, put on your seatbelt. Okay. That is what the protectors do. That is the ones that are looking out for people. We make sure he looked at the back of the boat, the plug wasn't in it. Y'all know how bad that would have sucked if we got out in the boat. We all jump out because probably as long as the bilge pump's working, don't give the enemy a. And sometimes but so Lynn, that's cool when you know who the enemy is. But what about when you don't know it's the enemy? What about when you have to rip a Band-Aid off that you don't want to rip off because you know it's going to hurt like hell when you rip that Band-Aid off? Those aren't fun. Those aren't fun times. But sometimes you got to rip the Band-Aid off. Sometimes sometimes people have to, they don't want to take the necessary actions for a break to heal properly. So they don't do because it's going to, and then they have to go back and they have to re-break it for it to set properly. So there's times that pain is a necessary part of life. There's times that pain is a necessary part of success. It's just part of it. And you look back and go, well, it hurt, but now everybody's better for it. Okay. So flip the chair over that you pulled out for him. Well, and again, that's great. And you're right. And sometimes this is the a word of truth that somebody gave me this week. Sometimes the best gift you can give somebody is the gift of goodbye. Sometimes that is the absolute best gift you can give someone. When somebody makes a decision to start going a direction or to do things that are against the direction that you're going, you can't let them be in and out. You can't let them have one foot in, one foot out. You got to help flip over the chair and then hand them the chair and say, here, you can take that chair with you. It's cool. I can get another chair. Not a big deal. So, and do it with grace and love. And there's never an opportunity. There's never a right time to do the wrong thing. And there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Okay. And that is, and I love to dance in the gray. I said this to somebody the other day, like that's part of being flexible. That's part of life. We have to pivot and adjust. And sometimes that means dancing in the gray, right? It means being able to go either way in a situation and be okay with whichever way it goes. But there are times that you can't dance in the gray. There are times that you can't have a fuzzy line. You got to have very clear, distinct lines. You got to put on these glasses that make the lines in that parking lot. I'm going to leave my other glasses on so I can see, that make the lines in that parking lot look so sharp and clear. They got the little P on them, and I've seen that P before, but I've I guess I've put them on before, but I've never really driven with them because I've like put them on for a second to look through something and then gave them back to the person because I've never owned any. But it makes things so clear. It literally sharpens your viewpoint so much. And sometimes it's deceptive. Sometimes it's deceiving when things get that clear and it puts a different tint on them. Because I think the polarized part is so that when you're fishing, you can see the little fish. I can't wait. I don't fish because I don't want to touch fish, but I can't wait to get out in the water and watch little fish swim around and see how clear they are with those glasses with a P on them. I hope I don't lose them in the water. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is we're in a battle, y'all. We prepare for battle every single day. And it's not always a bad battle. Sometimes it's just the battle of life. It's just getting through the day. It's not letting something topple you over when you need to keep moving forward. Sometimes it's making the freaking phone calls. Okay. Sometimes that distraction, because yesterday I had 120 names of agents. I've already got phone numbers for some of them. Okay. I had every intention of sitting down yesterday and spending 2 to 3 hours making phone calls to contact an agent and talk to them and ask them, why have you not activated your license? What's holding you back? Just to understand, because I think we're here to help people. And I think that Jenny Cruz is a perfect example of somebody who could have very easily gotten that phone call. I didn't see her on the Georgia Real Estate Commission. I didn't know that she had already passed her test and already had, she might not have had it, maybe she's already passed her exam. So there's no telling how many people are actually like Jenny out there who have already passed the exam and gotten their license but just haven't taken the lawful presence verification, haven't gotten a sponsoring broker form, haven't gotten their background check. They've already done the hard part. Now they got to do the easy part and just get over there and actually activate their license. There's no telling how many people have done that. Because actually, if I'm correct, Jenny, that was the situation you were in. You hadn't. I don't know that you had even gotten your license yet. You had passed the exam, and you didn't really. And some people don't even tell people they're taking the exam because they don't want people to know that they failed. The fear of failure takes over their desire to bring their prayer warriors in, right? Some people, because sometimes people say, like, they get to the point that they're like, okay, now I need prayer, right? I need to talk to somebody who can encourage me. When their encouragers would say, why didn't you come to us a month ago about this and talk to us? We would have prayed you through this thing, right? You'd already be on the other side of this thing. But sometimes you got to go through that storm and you got to go through that process to get some clarity about some things. So that preparing for battle, I'm just gonna say it again. And I didn't say this in here about the I didn't finish the thing about the call, but he just talked about that when people can view prospecting as nothing more than a means of building a relationship with somebody, quit trying to call them to sell them something. Don't call them and sell them something. When they pick up the phone, make a connection. So she did have her license. So she would have been one of those people. And she may have gotten letters and phone calls. And maybe this is something that other brokers do that I didn't even know about until I realized there's more people that we need to help. That's when I started taking on this activity and doing this. Is y'all, I have a stack that thick of them from a year ago that I never did call anybody. You have everything there. How many people have I not helped? How many people have not had the impact of Exit Realty Lake Country because I half-assed prepared for battle? Because I did all the things that I needed to do to get the information to call these people, and I never picked up the phone. There's no telling how much just from the standpoint of residual income is sitting in that stack of people who have taken the real estate exam and have never activated because they don't think they're prepared to do it. They're not sure what to do. And in the face of uncertainty, they do nothing. Okay. Because there's a lot of people out there and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I call sometimes an S. That's just an S personality style or a C personality style. Until they feel like they are fully ready, an S doesn't want to inconvenience someone and make a mistake. A C has to have every I dotted and every T crossed before they're going to move forward. The I's, they probably just got their real estate license and they passed that test because a friend of theirs was doing it and they wanted to go with them. I don't want to be left out. If you're going to be in a class every Thursday night, I want to be there too. You said you guys go and have drinks after class on Thursday nights. I'm going. Count me in. Okay. The D's, they do it just because somebody told them they couldn't, right? Hold my beer. You said that oh, I heard this, the Georgia real estate exam is hard. Hold my beer. I can do this. Like, I'll just go out there and do it just to show you I can do it. I have no desire in selling real estate. I've got a multi-million-dollar company out there, and I'm not certainly not going to waste my time driving people around that don't know what they want. You know, that's the different personality styles that pass and go through the whole exercise of taking the course, passing the course exam, studying for the state exam, and passing the state exam, and never activating their license. Okay, it's crazy, because then there's people out there that are doing their dead level best. They are taking courses over again. They're taking the state exam 4 and 5 times. They are doing everything they can because this is such a desire that's been placed in their heart to do this. And then there's people out there that it just comes so easy. Same difference between, and if Craig's on here, my brother's on here, if to compare me and Craig in school coming up, I made a B by never cracking a book. Craig made a B by sitting down every night. Like, if he made a B, he studied for that B in certain classes. Some classes he wouldn't. Guess who graduated from college with her bachelor's degree and said, "My ass ain't never sitting in the classroom again. Ain't happening. Not doing it. The next college classroom I sit in will be because I'm there with my kids. I'm never doing another college class." My mom was so thankful. Craig's diploma from high school was like wrapped. Like, my mom used to laugh about. Like, like, we were so happy when Craig graduated high school, because not that he was dumb, because he's not. He's extremely smart. He just didn't he just it did at that point. He just, maybe what, he wasn't interested. He was a soccer player. It came super easy for me, and he had to fight and work for every A he got. If he got an A, he worked his butt off for that A. Craig Burke now has a master's degree. Heck, he may have done more than that. He may be like on the way to something else, like beyond the master's degree. He taught college classes. Like, to compare Christy and Craig when we were growing up to what would we be doing 20 years after graduation from high school. Craig would have the master's degree, and Christy would be the one that said, "Peace out, guys. I'm done. I got my bachelor's degree. I don't even need this. I don't even use it. I did it because I finished what I start. It's just something that's inside of me. If I start it, I'm going to finish it." So I did. But and then I went into real estate, and it's great to have it. I think that the process of college is great, because I think it teaches you discipline to stay in and see something through to its logical conclusion. But is a college degree necessary to be successful in life? Absolutely not. I think there's a lot of things you can do, and you can see it through to its logical conclusion, and and it not be a college degree, and it still puts you in the path to success. So I'm done here. I've been on here a long time. I've got some answering to do, because well, that door's open. Maybe he left. Maybe my kid left and I didn't realize he left. Maybe I was that into the conversation. Maybe it was during one of those moments that I was talking about things that he just was like, "I'm out, mom." So I love y'all. Have a good day. Get out there. I started to say something about Tia Wood a while ago. Tia Wood says, "Kick fear in the face. Kick that ish in the face. Kick it in the face. Whatever it is, kick it in the face. Pick up the phone today and call people, and just focus on a relationship with them. Don't talk to them about selling real estate. I mean, if they bring it up, don't be like, "Oh, my broker said I can't talk to you about real estate today." No, talk to them about real estate. But don't call with the intention of trying to sell something. Call with the intention of making a connection and building a relationship. And do it 10 times. I'm challenging every single one of you guys to pick up the phone today and call 10 people. Make a contact with 10 people today. Okay? I don't care if 9 of them hang up on you. You've made the contact. Winston said he carries, I think he carries golf tees in his pocket. Why would you carry? I don't know. Winston, you don't have enough room in your pants to carry golf tees, if that is in fact where you carry them. So maybe I'm wrong about that. But he said something about his golf tees that he's got, and he moves them over when he makes his contacts. Okay. And I hope it's not. I think we would know if Winston. Anyways, that's a whole other story. I don't think he carries them in his pockets, because I think we would know, because he wears his pants so tight that you could see everything he's got in his pockets. But whatever it is, put 10 pennies in your pockets. I used to say put 10 business cards in your back pocket, and or 5 in each pocket. And until you've given out all 10 business cards that day, don't go home until you give out. I walked up to, when I was doing that, y'all, there's really some really good exercises that I used to do all the time, that when I was selling real estate, that I should probably share with y'all, that I just don't think about it till I'm talking to y'all. But I did used to do that. I would have 10 business cards every single day that I gave out. And I was at the, um, I was in Commerce at the Ruby Tuesdays, which I don't think it's Ruby Tuesdays anymore. It might be an IHOP now, at the Ruby Tuesdays. And I realized I had a business card in my pocket still that I had not given out that day. And I walked up and I saw a dude standing at the, well, I was at the salad bar line. And I was standing there, I reached in my back pocket and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a business card. I've got to give it away. So I handed it to him and I said, well, I said, hey, you can make friends in the salad bar line. Because I have my own thing for what buffet means, but I'm not going to say it. So I handed him my business card. We start talking. I think I actually either got a referral from him or sold him a house. I don't remember who it was because it's been years ago in commerce, but just the act of seeing that process that I did every day through to its conclusion of giving away that last business card that I still had in my pocket. I was standing at the salad bar line and I gave it to the guy in front of me. And I either got a referral from him or I might have sold them a house or sold their house. That's what happens when you see things through and you don't quit. That's how close you are to gold when you think, I'm tired, I've given away 9 of them, I haven't got anything out of it, I'm going to throw this 10th one away. If I had thrown that 10th business card away and not given it out, I would have missed a deal that may have resulted in multiple deals. I don't remember because it's been years ago. So see it through to conclusion, kick fear in the face, and prepare for battle. And pray for discernment to see exactly what we're supposed to see, and for God to give us the tools that we need. As an educator, I advocate for those who don't want to go to college. They can be, y'all, I'm telling you right now, I'm a college graduate and I'm an advocate for people not thinking that college is not for everybody. Exit Realty is not for everybody. Okay. Real estate is not for everybody. But there's something for everybody. There's somewhere for everybody, and everyone fits in somewhere. And sometimes we can be at peace when somebody leaves our situation, knowing that there's somewhere that they fit in. I tell that story about Lisa Looper all the time. I adored Lisa Looper, and I hated it when Lisa Looper left our company. She came from California. She's been with Exit for a long time. She joined us. She went to another Exit office close by. When I saw her with her people at that other Exit office, I was like, you know what? I have zero, because I felt like I had failed. Like we had not done something we could have done. And that's why somebody leaves. And sometimes it's just that this is just not the right place. And it's okay for that. And we wish them well and we see them out. I mean, Lynn's going to be careful because Lynn's going to pull your chair off from underneath you. But I may not, I might let you know. I might just move the chair while you've gone to the bathroom. Okay. And have your chair's right there by the door. You can take it out as you go. I love y'all. I'm just kidding. Kind of. I'm not. No, Lynn will absolutely pull your chair off from underneath you. So just, you've been warned. I love y'all. Be good, be great, be you. Bye.